These were the scenes in Zaragoza as Spain defeat Argentina by 1-0 to claim their second ever World Cup title.
Winning a World Cup is difficult. Dominating almost everyone on the way there is nearly impossible. But Spain didn't just conquer the world, they may have built the most complete national team football has seen in years, and every country should be worried.
Spain are the best in the world with the football, and that's why they're so difficult to beat.
8 matches, 7 clean sheets, just 1 goal conceded. But here is the part that makes absolutely no sense. Spain achieved those defensive numbers without playing defensive football. Unai Simón went 650 consecutive World Cup minutes without conceding. Rodri returned from the long road back from an ACL injury to become the foundation of the entire system. 19-year-old Pau Cubarsí helped Spain control games from the back. And when the starting 11 couldn't find a way through, players came from the bench and decided knockout matches. Then came the ultimate tests. France had the speed and attacking quality supposedly designed to destroy Spain's aggressive system. They couldn't register a shot on target. Argentina arrived in the final as defending world champions, with Lionel Messi and everything required to punish Spain on the biggest stage. They couldn't register one either. By the time Ferran Torres struck in the 106th minute to win the World Cup, Spain had done more than become champions. They had seemingly cracked one of football's oldest problems: how to attack without becoming vulnerable.
Well, the way I would sum it up is it was football 1, Argentina 0. Spain were by far the better team. They proved again today that they are the best team in the world.
And this is how Spain built the most dangerous team in world football, and why winning the World Cup may only be the beginning. 8 matches, 7 clean sheets, 1 goal conceded. And somehow they got there without playing a single minute of what you'd actually call defensive football. That contradiction was hiding in plain sight from game 1. Spain opened with a frustrating 0-0 of Cabo Verde, making their World Cup debut. Looked like classic Spanish frustration: 74.2% possession, 27 shots, 7 on target, 11 corners, nothing to show for it. Rosina saved everything. Torres clattered the crossbar. Cabo Verde barely got out of their own half with 6 attempts total. But the control was already there. The finishing just hadn't caught up. 6 days later, it did. Saudi Arabia were 3 goals down inside 24 minutes. Yamal, 2 from Oyarzabal, an own goal to finish it off, 4-0. Saudi Arabia spent the game pinned in their own third, while Spain came at them in waves, not passing for the sake of it, using the ball to shove the opponent backward, win it back fast and go again before they could reset. Uruguay was scrappier, more physical, less pretty, and still Spain found a way in. Baena punished a Muslera error in the 42nd minute, and Spain nursed the lead home to top the group. Proof they didn't need a passing masterclass every week. When it got ugly, they could still control the moments that mattered. Then the knockout started and Spain hit another gear. Austria 3-0, Oyarzabal with 2, Porro heading in his first international goal, Cucurella assisting both. Spain were winning the ball back high and living in Austrian territory for most of the night. Meanwhile, at the other end, Unai Simón quietly passed Walter Zenga's old World Cup record of 517 consecutive scoreless minutes, a run that would eventually stretch to 650 before Belgium finally got one past him. And here's where it gets properly interesting tactically. Porro pushing on, Cucurella pushing on, midfielders living between the lines, winners parked high enough to threaten defenders directly. By every normal law of football, that's a backline waiting to get torn open. Instead, Spain were barely conceding a chance, let alone a goal. Start with Rodri. He was the reset button under everything, the safe outball when an attack stalled, the cover when the fullbacks bombed forward, the man already standing where the dangerous counterpass would need to go. His positioning was what made the rest of the team's boldness possible, and given his road back, ACL rupture in September 2024, surgery, 8 months out, back with City by May 2025, more setbacks after that, finally back in the Spain squad in March 2026, this wasn't just a comeback story anymore. This was a guy walking straight back into being the structural heartbeat of a World Cup winning side. Around him, Spain ran what coaches call rest defence, basically defending while you still have the ball. Porro or Cucurella push forward, and Rodri, Cubarsí, Laporte and whoever's nearby in midfield hold their shape underneath. Lose it and the closest man jumps the ball immediately to choke off the first pass. Most counters died before they ever got going. Spain weren't retreating in a panic, they were attacking the turnover itself. Cubarsí and Laporte made that work because both could defend high and still contribute properly on the ball. The numbers before the final tell the story on their own. Rodri led the tournament with 648 completed passes, Cubarsí next with 547, Laporte with 533. The same three players holding the defensive structure together were also the tournament's top three passers. Attack and defence weren't separate departments. Same guys, same job.
That security is what freed everyone in front of them to play. Pedri controlling tempo, Fabian Ruiz carrying and arriving late, Olmo drifting wherever he pleased, Baena drifting inside, and Merino a completely different weapon, all physicality and late runs into the box. When Spain needed him, he delivered. Portugal held out until the death in the round of 16, then Merino came off the bench and won it. 4 days later against Belgium, the first goal Spain had conceded all tournament, De Ketelaere cancelling out Fabian Ruiz's opener, Merino came on again and scored the 88th minute winner to send them through. That's the depth talking. Change the personnel, keep the principles. And this wasn't the slow, patient tiki-taka people associate with old Spain. Yamal and Nico Williams gave this version genuine one-on-one menace, suck the opponent's central through Rodri in midfield, then spring a winger loose against an isolated defender. 2010 Spain suffocated you with the ball. This lot suffocate you, then come straight at you. 6 games in, 1 goal conceded, numbers bordering on ridiculous. Then came the team supposedly built to expose all of it. France, Mbappe, Dembele, real pace, real transition threat. If there was a crack anywhere in that high line and those advancing fullbacks, this was the attack to find it. They didn't. France was supposed to be the team that finally cracked Spain open. Made sense on paper. Porro and Cucurella bombing forward, midfielders committed high, a defensive line living dangerously, and here's Mbappe attacking space, Dembele running at you full speed. A front four built to punish exactly that kind of boldness. Let Spain push up, survive it, then hit the space they've left behind. Textbook plan. Problem was, France could never actually get to the hit the space part. Spain's 2-0 win in the semi was all about the moment right after they lost the ball. Rodri guarding the middle, Cubarsí and Laporte stepping the line up instead of dropping, and whoever was nearest jumping the ball immediately instead of retreating. Mbappe's whole game depends on receiving it facing goal with room to run. Spain's entire plan was just making sure that ball never arrived. Rodri covered over 12.5 kilometers doing exactly that job, sitting underneath everything, letting Cubarsí and Laporte push up behind the advancing fullbacks without anyone getting exposed. France finished the game without a single shot on target. Simón didn't have to make one save. That's not Spain hanging on. That's Spain deciding when the game restarted every single time. At the other end, the same aggression paid off directly. Yamal, 1 day after turning 19 no less, kept isolating Lucas Digne, and in the 21st minute, he got there first in the box, and Digne clipped him. Oyarzabal buried the penalty. 1-0. France now needed to chase, which should have opened things up for them. Instead, Spain just kept squeezing. 58th minute, Porro, the right back everyone assumed would be the weak link, combines with Olmo and finishes inside the box. 2-0. Fullback scoring in a World Cup semi-final because the shape behind him meant there was no real risk in him being there. France were meant to expose the aggression. Instead, they exposed the flaw in their own plan to beat it. You can't counter what you can't escape. You can't use Mbappe's pace if nobody can find him, and you can't punish a turnover Spain's already won back before your move starts. Then came the final, and a completely different kind of problem. Argentina, defending champions, the tournament's top scorers, and Messi able to decide a game Argentina weren't even controlling. Best defense in the tournament versus its most dangerous attack. Spain still dictated the terms from the first whistle. Yamal forced an early save out of Emiliano Martinez, Oyarzabal tested him too, and Spain kept circulating and probing a well-organized block. Argentina's problem was the usual one. Even when they won the ball, Spain's structure made it nearly impossible to build anything with it. But not because Spain went quiet. Martinez was the only reason it did. Save after save off Yamal, Torres, Cubarsí, Pedri, then Nico Williams once he came on. Argentina, for their part, reached extra time without a single shot on target, with Messi and Alvarez both on the pitch. Spain didn't park bodies in the box to manage that, they just cut off every route to get there. They didn't park the bus, they took away the road entirely. Things got harder for Argentina late in stoppage time when Enzo Fernandez picked up a second yellow on Cubarsí and was sent off. Though, let's be honest, Argentina had already spent 90 minutes struggling to create anything well before that card. For Spain, the real test now was mental. Control a whole World Cup final and still have nothing on the board. Martinez had said no every time. 90 minutes gone, this is exactly the moment control usually turns into panic. Spain didn't blink. Same ball, same patient circulation, same trust that the door would eventually open. 106th minute, it did. Porro delivers from the right, Nico Williams attacks the far post and heads it back across, and Ferran Torres, another substitute, arrives and buries it first time. 1-0, and that goal tells you the whole story of this squad. An attacking fullback setting it up, one sub extending the move, another sub finishing it off. Spain, world champions second time around. Final numbers: 8 games, 7 wins, 1 draw, 7 clean sheets, 1 goal conceded. Simon's shutout run finished at 650 minutes, smashing Zenga's old record of 517. Best defensive record of the tournament going into the final, somehow made even better by the end of it. But the real headline is how they did it. France had the exact pace to punish a high line, no shot on target. Argentina had Messi and every bit of experience you'd want, no shot on target either. Spain didn't dial anything back when the stakes went up, they doubled down. Fullbacks still bombing on, lines still high, Rodri still underneath it all, still trusting the counter-press, still trusting the ball. 8 games, 7 clean sheets, 1 trophy later, and De La Fuente's Spain had made their point as loudly as possible. This was never just beautiful possession football, it was a system built to attack without ever losing its grip, and against the 2 hardest tests of the tournament, that grip barely loosened at all.
And that is what makes this Spain team so dangerous. It is not simply about having Yamal, Rodri, Cubarsí, or any individual star. It is that every player fits into an idea that remains intact even when the personnel change. Marino can enter and decide a knockout game. Nico Williams can change the attack. Ferran Torres can come from the bench and score the goal that wins the World Cup. Spain have built something bigger than a starting 11, and perhaps the most worrying part for everyone else is the timing. Some of their most important players are still years away from their expected peak, yet this generation has already reached the summit of world football. Winning one World Cup makes you champions. Building a team capable of staying there is something else entirely. Spain have conquered the world. Now the question facing everyone else is simple. How do you stop them from doing it again?